Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome, everyone, to today's Explainer. We're looking at a city that is practically bursting at the seams with history. I'm talking about Luoyang. This is a city with over 5,000 years of civilization, sitting right there on the fertile plains of the Yellow and Low rivers. Now, I know when you hear 5,000 years, it can sound a bit overwhelming, right? Like, where do you even start? But don't worry. We're going to sift through all of that to give you a totally practical travel guide for visiting Luoyang's top landmarks, making this sprawling history incredibly easy to navigate.
So here is our itinerary for today. First, a quick welcome to Luoyang. Second, navigating the divine capital. Third, the top landmarks you have to explore. And finally, my favorite, the must-try local cuisine.
Welcome to Luoyang, the 13 Dynasty capital.
Before you actually pack your bags, it really helps to wrap your head around the sheer magnitude of where you're going. Because it was protected by natural barriers, mountains to the north and south that made it super easy to defend, this city literally became the cradle of Chinese civilization. And what's absolutely fascinating is the sheer scale of the timeline you can physically walk through here. Just think about this. You can start your day 3,500 years in the past at the Erlito ruins, which most scholars believe was the capital of the Shah dynasty, literally the dawn of early Chinese statehood. Then you can fast forward to 1,300 years ago, walking through Empress Wu Zetian's reign in the Tang dynasty, and end your evening surrounded by these crazy modern high-tech light shows. It's time travel, plain and simple.
For over 1,500 years, across 13 different dynasties, Luoyang was the capital of the Chinese Empire. It was so magnificent that it actually earned the title of the Divine Capital. Emperors, poets, scholars, they were all completely captivated by it. It was the eastern starting point of the Silk Road and the central hub of the Suteng Grand Canal.
Section 2, Navigating the Divine Capital. Let's get into some essential transport logistics.
Okay, so the crucial point here, especially if you're taking the high-speed rail, is a huge warning for any visitors holding non-mainland IDs. So, international passports or Taiwan compatriot permits. Listen, you cannot simply scan your card and zip through those automated gates. No way. You absolutely have to factor in extra time. You've got to line up in the manual ticket channels to get your identity verified. And just be prepared because the security check is practically airport level. Thorough bag scans, physical pat-downs, the whole shebang. Once you're finally in that massive waiting hall, you'll need to match your train card number with a specific colored boarding gate. So always pad your schedule.
Now here is exactly what to do once you arrive at the Luoyang Longmen high-speed rail station. The station itself is located pretty far south of the city center. In the past, tourists had to rely on these really long bus rides, but Luoyang recently opened a brand new, highly efficient subway system, which is a real game changer. You just hop on Line 2, the green line, head north, and transfer at Jiefang Road to Line 1, the red line. That takes you straight to the Yingtian Gate in the Old City. It's incredibly convenient now.
Section 3, Top Landmarks to Explore. This is where the history truly comes alive.
Just let this number sink in for a second. Over 100,000. That is the staggering number of Buddhist statues intricately carved into the cliff faces along the Yi River at the Longmen Grottoes. This monumental project kicked off during the Northern Wei dynasty and continued on and off for over 500 years. It is widely considered an absolute pinnacle of Chinese stone carving art. But the undisputed crown jewel of the Longmen Grottoes is the Xi'an Buddha. It stands a towering 17 meters tall, and legend actually says it was modeled directly after Empress Wu Zetian herself. What's so amazing is the contrast here. Despite its epic, massive scale, the facial details are so delicate, so compassionate, that it's earned the nickname the Eastern Mona Lisa. Standing in awe of this true Tang Dynasty masterpiece is just an unforgettable experience.
A short trip away from there is the White Horse Temple. Built over 1,900 years ago during the Eastern Han Dynasty, it's actually the very first state-sponsored Buddhist temple in China. Literally the cradle of Chinese Buddhism. But here's the surprising twist. It is not just ancient Chinese architecture. Because of its immense historical significance, other nations have gifted these incredibly photogenic pavilions to the temple. You can explore a stunning Indian-style temple that was gifted in 2010, right alongside beautiful Thai and Burmese pavilions. It honestly feels like taking a mini tour of Southeast Asia right in the middle of Luoyang. Oh, and definitely keep an eye out. The temple grounds are full of friendly resident cats just soaking in the sun.
Stepping right off that Line 1 subway we mapped out earlier, you'll immediately be greeted by the towering reconstructed structures of the Sui-Tung Luoyang city ruins. You can stand right before the massive Yingtian Gate. This is the exact spot where Empress Wu Zetian once received foreign dignitaries and hosted these grand royal ceremonies. Right nearby, you'll find the Mingtang, which was her royal administrative hall, and the towering Tiantong Pagoda. The sheer scale of these reconstructions will completely take your breath away.
But Luoyang isn't just about static ruins. They are doing an incredible job of blending modern technology with ancient poetry, which offers a fantastic contrast to the ancient stones of the grottos. At modern complexes like Dahehui, you can experience cutting-edge holographic shows like the Ode to the Goddess of the Low River, which brings ancient romantic literature to life right in front of you. You can also catch immersive Tong Palace night banquets that recreate the music, the dance, and the exquisite fashion of that golden age. It really is history you can actually feel.
Section 4. Must-try local cuisine, because we definitely have to taste the divine capital. Exploring all of that history is going to work up an appetite, and the most famous culinary tradition you have to try is the water banquet, or shuixi. This is a 1,000-year-old tradition where a massive series of dishes, many of them uniquely sour, spicy, and savory, are served continuously. They flow out to the table one after another, just like water. Almost everything has a rich super broth base. Now, I do have to let you in on a quick insider tip. Over the years, some tourist traps have given this a bit of a bad rap by cutting corners. So please, make sure you do a little research and pick a highly reputable, authentic local spot to experience it the right way. But hey, if a huge, formal banquet isn't really your speed, the street food scene is phenomenal. Locals here love starting their day with a steaming, restorative bowl of rich bone broth beef soup. And you absolutely cannot miss the Xiaoji pot stickers. They are golden, crackling, and crispy on the outside and bursting with hot, savory juice on the inside. So good. For lunch, grab a bowl of hearty, thick, knife-cut noodles or dig into a deeply flavorful plate of Xiaoji. That's a stir-fried chicken dish where the meat and potatoes are just completely coated in this rich, spicy sauce.
And for dessert or just to take home as souvenirs, you have to try the local floral pastries. Let's compare the two big ones real quick. The jasmine pastry is really light, refreshing, and just subtly sweet. It goes perfectly with a cup of tea. But the real star of the show is the peony pastry. The peony is the beloved symbol of Luoyang. They even celebrate it with a massive festival every April. These pastries usually feature a purple sweet potato crust and a rich, deep, unmistakably floral sweet filling. It is honestly the ultimate taste of the city's romantic side.
Okay, but maybe you're looking for something a bit more adventurous. When you wander through the bustling, ancient Legion Gate and the old street night market, amidst all the beautiful Hanfu clothing and traditional shops, you are going to spot some pretty wild street snacks. I'm talking about skewers of silkworm chrysalises and whole fried scorpions. Honestly, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. It's a crunchy, protein-packed shock to the system. So the question is, are you brave enough to try one?
So there you have it. From perfectly preserved underground ruins to towering Buddhas, and from spicy beef soup to high-speed rail. Luoyang is a place where the ancient and the modern collide in just the most beautiful way. You now have a completely practical travel guide to navigate this overwhelming, magnificent city. The only question left is, with 5,000 years of history at your fingertips, which dynasty are you going to step into first? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll patch you on the next one.